This is Samsung's Galaxy Book 360, and I know this laptop came out back in May, but I think now is actually the perfect time to upload this video. It's back to school season, and this is one of the few laptops out there that I would 100% recommend to students for a whole bunch of different reasons. As you're gonna see in a sec, this really is the jack of all trades kind of laptop, and while it does have some disadvantages and some weird quirks, I think the positives far outweigh the negatives. First of all, I just want to mention that I have the 15-inch version, but most of this review will work for the 13-inch version of the laptop too, since they are nearly identical aside from display size and keyboard format. Why don't we start there? The Galaxy Book Pro 360 has a full HD touch-enabled AMOLED display. I would have preferred a higher resolution display here, but at the same time, the fact that it's an AMOLED display more than makes up for it. The colors on this display are excellent, and of course you get those deep inky blacks that everyone raves about on OLED panels, although you're gonna have some trouble seeing them at times because this is a glossy display and your reflection is gonna be almost constantly present when the display is dark. The bezels are nice and slim too, with the exception of that bottom chin, but I think it looks just fine the way it is. It does have a tiny webcam at the top of the display, but it's only 720p and it just isn't all that great. It'll get the job done, but don't expect too much out of it. There are two other things that make this display stand out though. The first is the 360-degree hinge that gives this laptop part of its name. You can flip the display all the way around and use it in tablet mode. That's where this guy comes in. The Galaxy Book Pro 360 also comes with an S Pen in the box for doing things like writing notes, drawing, or even just navigating through menus. The S Pen is one of the biggest selling points for students, I think. It feels very comfortable in the hand, and it seems pretty accurate too. I do wish the palm rejection was a little bit better though, as it seems to mess up occasionally and register my wrist as a touch, but other than that, my experience with the S Pen has been fantastic. As for the rest of the design, it's mostly great. The laptop has an all aluminum build quality, and it feels really robust and solid, and it's also extremely thin and light for a 15-inch laptop at about 3 pounds. If you go with the 13-inch model, it'll be even lighter at around 2.5 pounds. There is an Achilles heel to this design though, and that's the mystic navy finish that Samsung has put on it. While it does look great when you take it out of the box, they seem to have forgotten to apply an oleophobic coating, because from the second that you pick this laptop up and start touching it, it gets absolutely covered in fingerprint marks. As for the keyboard and trackpad, they're decent. The keyboard has a fingerprint reader for quick and easy unlocking, and the keys are nice and quiet, something that you definitely want in a classroom or an office environment. And the trackpad is a great size, but there are things that I don't like about each of them. Yes, the keyboard does have a number pad, which can be great for a lot of you out there, but it does move the rest of the keyboard off center, and I found it a little difficult to get used to. That's a problem that the 13-inch version of this laptop doesn't have. The trackpad uses a basic diving board mechanism, meaning you can't actually press down to click at the top or even the middle of the trackpad. You need to click at the bottom, which can get annoying if you prefer to press down to click instead of just tap. Samsung has included a decent amount of ports on this laptop, including a Thunderbolt 4 port, 2 USB-C ports, a headphone jack, and a micro SD card slot. If you want to use USB-A devices or an Ethernet cable though, you'd be out of luck. Unless of course you pick up a dock from the sponsor of this video, Anker. Upgrade your desk setup with Anker's Apex Thunderbolt 4 docking station. It's equipped with dual Thunderbolt 4 ports, a USB-C port, 4 USB-A ports, 2 HDMI ports capable of a 4K 60Hz signal, an Ethernet port, an SD card slot, and a 3.5mm audio jack. It's got everything. My personal favorite part though, you can get access to all of this with a single Thunderbolt 4 cable plugged into your laptop. Not only that, but the Thunderbolt 4 port on the back is capable of driving an 8K display or 3 monitors in 4K if you make use of the HDMI ports in the back. I've been using this dock in tandem with the Galaxy Book Pro 360, and since the Thunderbolt 4 port has 90 watts of power delivery, I've never needed to use the charger that came with the laptop. This thing is the perfect power station for a Thunderbolt 4 ready laptop or mini PC, and it looks great on the desk too with this silver all metal body. If you're looking for a dock to complete your desk setup, you should definitely consider this. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested. All right, let's talk internal specs. These Galaxy Book Pro 360s are equipped with Intel Tiger Lake CPUs. You can get either an i5 or an i7 like I have in my model here. You can also get either 8 or 16 gigabytes of RAM and up to a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. Performance as far as a thin and light laptop goes is pretty solid. Unless you have more than 50 tabs of Google Chrome open and you're playing a game in the background, this laptop is not going to bog down on you in any way. It ran a Geekbench 5 score of 1526 in single core and 5442 in multi-core, beating out my AMD-equipped Surface Laptop 4 in single core, but falling behind in multi-core. That's impressive given that the Surface Laptop 4 costs several $100s more than the Galaxy Book Pro 360 in their current configurations. Don't expect this laptop in its current state to be much of a gaming powerhouse though. You could hook up an eGPU to the Thunderbolt 4 port to turn it into one, but straight out of the box, it only has Intel's Iris Xe integrated graphics. It'll give you playable frame rates above 30 frames per second in easy to run games like CSGO, League of Legends, and Valorant, but anything more visually complex than that, and you're gonna have some trouble. I also noticed that this laptop does struggle with some high-pitched fan whine. You can't hear the fan most of the time, but when you're really stressing the laptop out with games or other CPU-intensive apps, the fan kind of sounds like an airliner that's taxiing on the runway. Battery life is definitely a strong point of this laptop. The 15-inch that I have has a 68 watt-hour battery, while the 13-inch one has a slightly smaller 63 watt-hour battery. You shouldn't see much of a difference between the two, and that's a great thing because I'm easily getting around 14 or even 15 hours of mixed usage with the laptop. The battery life still doesn't quite measure up to the likes of the M1 equipped MacBooks, but if I tried to do this with a MacBook, I don't think it would like me very much. To charge the laptop, Samsung includes a 65 watt USB-C charger in the box, and you can use any of the USB-C ports on the laptop to charge it, which is convenient. This is a pretty great laptop overall. It's got some quirks, but it doesn't really disappoint in any significant way. The rotating hinge and S Pen features make this laptop extremely versatile for anyone in a classroom environment, and the AMOLED display that you get on this laptop is amazing for the price. As long as you don't need a machine that has a crazy amount of power for video editing or gaming, it's an excellent choice in my opinion. Hope you liked the video, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.